Hello, my name is Kaylee. Today I'm going to be talking about learning targets. And learning targets are a target or goal that's shared actively by both the teacher and the student. So the teachers are involved because they must engage their students into wanting to learn the information and to want to get to the target or the goal. So there are 5 different types. And the first one is knowledge targets, and I think this is one of the most important ones because this is like the factual information, the facts that they need to take away from each standard, the conceptual understanding, and verbs that are within the standard are list, explains, knows, and identify. So an example of this is this kindergarten standard SKL2, and it states, explain the similarities and differences in animals. So the verb of this, that you know it's a knowledge target, is explain. So through this, you could explain through verbal or written. Since it was a kindergarten standard, it may be easier to do verbal. Or you could do an activity where students have a picture of both animals that you're comparing and contrasting, and the teacher can ask, like, which animal is brown? And then the student could hold up the picture of the brown animal, and that could show you who actually knows. So another target that I think is very important, I think this one and knowledge are the 2 most important ones, is reasoning. And this is the thought process behind the student's learning. So I like to think like the why of the standard, like why do they need to know this? And it focuses on applying the knowledge. And this process includes problem solving, hypothesizing, predicting, and justifying. So it's like a deep level thinking. So an example of this is to have the students explain their reasoning behind a math problem, or have them show how they got their answer multiple ways. Because it's easy for them to memorize 2 + 2 is 4, but do they actually understand it? They could draw out 2 circles and then 2 more circles and count out 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just a simple way to prove that. And then a third learning target is the skill targets. And this is real-time demonstration or physical performance. So you're watching them live in the moment, and this is most common in PE, arts, and world languages. So in PE, you're watching your students run a mile, or in arts, you're watching them perform. And then world languages, you're listening and to them speak live. And then an example of this is also oral fluency in reading. So listening to your students read and how fluent they are when they read, if they can read fluently by how fast, if they read with a tone or monotoned or however. So another learning target is product targets, and these are standards that call for a creation of a product. So it's not just an activity where I was talking about the animal activity, but it's a product that is specific from the standards. So keywords to know that you have a product target are creates, produce, and makes. An example of this is produce a map that's drawn to scale. So the standard specifically tells you to make a map, and it has to be to scale. Then the 5th and last one is disposition target, and this isn't very common in state standards. They're affective goals, and they reflect attitudes and feelings. So a way you could incorporate these are self-evaluations, and you could use this as evaluating activity and if they enjoyed or learned from the activity. And you can also ask what they learned from it, and this would be incorporating the knowledge target. So it's important to know that these targets can be combined throughout a lesson or activity, and I believe, like I said before, the knowledge and the reasoning targets are the most important. The knowledge target makes sure the student knows the information, but the reasoning target lets the teacher know if the student knows the why behind it and is much deeper. So it's important to know. It's important because the student will be more likely to retain the information if they know the reasoning behind it, because they make more connections with it and it makes more sense to them.